Raquel Quizno lived an ordinarily royal life just as any other princess would. She fashioned her hourglass figure with elegant and trendy dresses complementing her sky blue eyes and attended all of the important and hip galas of the town. She sipped ancient wine with her dainty petite pinky stuck outward atop her castle balcony whilst overlooking the rustic, thatch-roofed cottages and markets that made up the village she ruled. However, she also lived a completely different life outside of the stone-turreted gate she resided in. Raquel would often go into the town and converse with the blacksmiths, the market vendors, the woodcrafters, and the fortune-tellers on the street. She'd always make sure to bring plenty of money along with her to give to the poor homeless beggars that wandered around in the alleys and roads. All of the people loved her very, very dearly. She was kind and generous. To her parents, on the other hand, she was disgraceful, rambunctious, and waywardly. Raquel's father and mother, King Maynard and Queen Reba Quizno, would simply not stand for the attitude of their foolish, naive daughter. Making company with the common folk was the utter worst social faux pas that could possibly be committed by important people like them. Therefore, Maynard and Reba decided it was about time to end all of this nonsense. While the three of them sat down to their lunch one day, Reba engaged Raquel in a conversation pertaining to the subject of marriage.
"Oh, my sweet dearest Raquel, you look ever so beautiful today. Your lips and blush would make even the most beautiful of sunsets jealous. You should get married."
To Raquel, this was a little odd considering she was only 18. She responded,
"Why, thank you, dear mother. Your lavish dark blue dress resembles the rippling, infinite waves of a majestic ocean. I don't want to."
"Ah, my pretty doll,"
Maynard quickly suggested.
"your hair reflects the radiant sunlight with such dazzling awe that it summons forth great swells of tears from my eyes. You definitely should."
"My great humble father,"
Raquel answered.
"the goatee you so nobly wear upon your countenance signifies the thick flowing mane of the courageous lion that is you. Don't push me."
Right about now, King Maynard decided to do away with the buttering pleasantries of speech they had all been exercising.
"Too bad! We already have someone for you, and his name is Prince Bailey Denners, and you will marry this guy."
Raquel spoke quite plainly as well.
"I'm not marrying anyone whose name is as stupid as Bailey."
As Raquel finished her statement, Prince Bailey walked in. He was not particularly tall or handsome for that matter. His gut hung below his belt quite prominently, and his clothes were bright neon green. He was the definition of an eyesore. As for his face, the only remotely mentionable thing was the mediocre beard that splayed across his cheeks. He stroked it with purpose, as if he was actually worthwhile to talk to, or even know. Before he spoke, he spread his legs apart and put his left hand on his hip in an attempt to instill a sense of awesomeness to all who were about to hear the two words that would go down in history as the utmost genius combination of words ever assembled into a single sentence by one man.
"Hey, baby."
It was just too much for poor Raquel. She stood up and stormed out of the hall without saying a single word to mother, father, or stupid Bailey Denners. She buried her face in her hands and began to sob with great sorrow as she aimlessly wandered out of the castle, out of the town, and into some woods that bordered the great estate. Raquel slowed down to walk along a primitive dirt path.
"How could they do something like this to me?"
she thought. Just then, she became aware of the dark and intimidating surroundings. The sadness and anger she had been feeling was quickly replaced with fear. She had to figure out where she was, and fast, so that she could get home before the dusk overtook the sky.
"Oh, woodland creatures! I need your help desperately!"
She cooed. Two guinea pigs hopped out from behind the bush in response to her call for help.
"Wee, wee, wee, wee!"
shrilled the first guinea pig.
"I don't know where I am, little hogs. Please tell me where this is and how I can get home quick and safely."
Weep, 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 piped the second guinea pig.
"Oh no! I'm in the Forest of Woe!"
The Forest of Woe was something that every kid heard back within the village. The children's parents would recite the old folk tales of the scary and mischievous Ottos that lurked in the shadows of the trees. They would steal babies, break valuable things, and write obscenities on anything they could get their grubby little hands on. But the worst thing they did was what made them really scary. They would tie humans down and lick the skin right off of their flesh. It was a terrible and gruesome way to die, the parents would say, and if any kid misbehaved, they could expect the Ottos to visit them at night and snatch them right out of their bed. Even the way they were described by storytellers made the mightiest of men pee in their fancy pants. They were seen in many forms, but most all shared these same grotesque qualities. The tips of their dirty toes were caked with orange, fuzzy fungus. Their toenails were sharp, chipped, and made beastly from living in holes. The legs of the creatures were thick and calloused. Their belly was pimply and usually stuffed with rocks, stolen keys, and the villagers' cats. Their chest was hairy, ever so hairy, only to be matched by the thick, black bristles that snaked out of the 2 armpits. However, nothing in the Otto's anatomy was as terrifying as the face. It was unpleasant, to put it in the simplest of terms. There's actually no word that has the complexity to wrap around the entirety of its unpleasantness. Along with all of this, they were gnomes. Raquel became even more scared because she had a strange phobia of small people.
Quick then! Tell me how to get back to the castle!
She said.
Wee, 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 wee!
The guinea pig squealed. They hurriedly scampered back to the bush from whence they came.
Wait!
Raquel yelled.
I need to get home!
There was a sudden silence that swept over the woods just then. Cold sweat began to run down her forehead, for the thought of meeting an actual Otto scared the living daylights out of her. She started to walk slowly down the path again, faintly humming to herself to try and keep calm. A laugh echoed off the tree. She stopped dead.
Who's there?
She wailed into the nothing. Even more on the edge now than she was before, she began to bite her fingernails and again started to walk. There was a rustle behind her. She spun around quickly and stared in the direction of the noise.
There's no such thing as Ottos. No such thing. Ottos don't exist.
She chanted under her breath, all the while walking backward.
Got ya!
Shrieked a voice. Raquel suddenly fell flat on her face and was knocked out immediately. Her head, unfortunately, slammed against a rock. 7 little figures darted out from the shadows, tied her up, and dragged her off. When Raquel awoke, she was staring up at a ceiling of dirt. It smelled faintly of sour milk and feet, which only made her situation more unpleasant. There was a lantern hanging from a branch protruding out of the earth, illuminating the stone slab she was laid out across, and the vines that were keeping her down. She knew instantly what was going to happen soon.
Well, the precious one has awakened. About time.
She looked over to see a little Otto standing on the ground beside her. This one was dressed in a Boy Scout uniform. She closed her eyes and tried to wish it all away. She would much rather be at home on her balcony with stupid Prince Biley than in the hole filled with Ottos.
Pretending we're not here won't make us go away, precious one.
Chirped the Otto.
You know quite well what we plan to do with you.
Please don't!
She screamed, but it was not going to stop the unrelenting ruthlessness that the Ottos displayed. 2 other Ottos jumped up on the sides of the stone slab and rolled up each of her sleeves. The one on her right had Pikachu ears and a tail, and the other was dressed as Buster Jones from the musical Cats.
It's been quite some time since we've had a human wander into our midst, and now since we have you all to ourselves in our lair, we shall lick you!
Cried the Boy Scout Otto. The 2 Ottos on her side began to lick her arms. She screamed in pain. After a good patch of skin was licked off of both arms, the Boy Scout Otto signaled the other 2 to stop.
Now, that wasn't so bad, was it?
The Otto said mockingly.
Come on, you 2. I want you to present your expert culinary critique on her skin to the tribe in 2 minutes.
The Ottos left through a hole to the left of Raquel. She might have been scared senseless at that moment, and she might have been in tremendous pain, but she knew what she had to do.
Woodland creatures,
She called quietly.
I need your help!
The 2 guinea pigs entered from a hole in front of Raquel cautiously, as not to be heard by the Ottos. Bleep, bleep, bleep! The first guinea pig chimed.
Oh, I'm glad to see you too, guys. Now help me get out of here.
The guinea pigs leaped upon the stone slab and began to gnaw the vines that were holding Raquel down. In a few seconds or so, the hogs had successfully eaten through the restraints.
Hooray!
Raquel spouted. Whee! The guinea pigs chirped.
Hey, what's that?
Oh no! The Ottos heard us! Let's get out of here!
Raquel yelled. She grabbed the 2 guinea pigs and ran out of the hole. The hogs came through. They scampered out from beneath the tree, where the entrance was, and spiraled down the nearest path. The only thing Raquel could hear was the pathetic moans and wails of the Ottos behind her.
Come back! We're so hungry!
The guinea pigs guided Raquel out of the forest of blood and into a small field just outside of her castle. She ran all the way through the town and into the castle and found her mother and father.
Daughter!
They both cried.
Mom! Dad!
Said Raquel with great joy. They threw their arms around each other, all the while Maynard and Reba were shouting compliments to Raquel about her eyes, shoes, and smile. Even the guinea pigs got some hugs.
Don't worry, darling.
Said Queen Reba after her union was finished.
You don't have to marry stupid Prince Biley. We're just so happy you're back home with us. Yay!
Shouted Raquel.
Wait, sweetheart!
Inquired King Maynard.
What's this blinking thing on your back?